Alright, so, I've been thinking about this video all day. I saw a meme on my social media, and I was like, I couldn't get this out of my head, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this as a video. I'm gonna make this as a video. And that is, what if J. Jonah Jameson was in the DC universe? Rather than having a superhero character that I usually with these videos do where it's a superhero character or a supervillain in these, what if they were part of this universe or what if part of that universe, this time around it's a supporting character. And who better to do as a supporting character in a different universe than good old J. Jonah Jameson? So yeah, so let's say Jameson in here is a DC character. Never met Spider-Man, never met the other Marvel superheroes. He is in the DC universe. Now, where would he be? Obviously, he would still be, a reporter, a head of a news company. But for here, where would he be? Like, obviously, the Daily Bugle. In here, I would say, like, to make it easier, I would say have the whole Daily Bugle in the DC universe. As to what city they would be in, put in, I can't tell you. Like, that one you can debate in the comments. But here, let's say the whole Daily Bugle, but instead of having these rest of the supporting cast, like Robbie Robinson and Betty Page, all those characters, it's just Jameson. It is a whole other group, and Jameson is trying to get, like, poach other people for his company. So, as to who he would probably get, I would imagine definitely Vicky Vale would be on his payroll. I would say Knox. Like, yeah, let's have Knox in there, from Batman '89. Cool character. Let's have him. I would even say he'd probably poach Cat Grant and Steve Lombard from the Daily Planet. But yeah, you guys can put a whole cast of characters in there for whatever reason. So let's talk about the effects of having Jameson in the DC universe. Now, obviously, he doesn't like superheroes a lot. But here's the thing. Here's the difference between Marvel superheroes and DC superheroes. A lot of Marvel superheroes are very, like, close-guarded about their identity. A lot of them are, and a lot of them don't really obey the rules of the government. Justice League is a little more open. The Justice League and the rest of the DC universe, for the most part, is very open for a lot of characters. I don't see Jameson having a problem with Superman. I really do not see him as, like, opposing Superman. Do I think he would have, like, he would say some reservations about a man that's godlike that can do anything? Yeah, that's Jameson. He always answers the big question. But I think he would also say, like, here's the thing. Jameson is not this big, goofy character that you think he is. He's actually a lot smarter and a lot more complex. I do think he would have, like, a lot of, like, reservations about a literal god walking among mankind, but at the same time, he'd be like, Superman's open to us. We ask for interviews. He gives them to us. He tells us anything we want to hear. He tells us what he tells it like it is. It would be the same thing of, like, how he views Captain America, how Jameson views Captain America. So Jameson wouldn't have a lot of problems with Superman. I can't say the same about Batman. If there was one superhero Jameson would be gunning for at the same gusto as he does Peter, as Spider-Man, it'd be Batman. Like, not even a contest. Like, he would be like, you're a mass vigilante who goes above the law and beats people to a bloody pulp, and then you fight all these psychos who... Jameson would definitely spin the whole thing of Batman, even though it's bullshit. 99% of Batman's villains aren't created by him. I'm so goddamn sick of that argument. Because, like, the only one he really made was Joker. And maybe two more, but that's really it. And two of those are debatable. But Joker's really it, of villains he made. And even then, you can make the argument that he was already the Red Hood and shit like that. I'm so goddamn sick of the whole argument that it was like, oh, Batman's, appearance in the city, like, makes villains challenge him. I'm like, no, they would have been villains either way, even if you didn't have Batman there. Like, Scarecrow, Poison Ivy, Two-Face would probably still be Two-Face. He'd still get scarred by... Penguin would still be a thing. They just wouldn't be controlled. They wouldn't have, there wouldn't be a problem without Batman. But Jameson wouldn't do that. Jameson would make this whole thing of, like, Batman makes his own villains and attracts all these problems to Gotham. He's this scary bat monster man who just runs around the city, and he's like, Batman, hero or menace? And he would be like, Vale, give me pictures of Batman. What are you waiting for? Chinese New Year? Get out of here. But that's the thing, is that if there was any superhero, I'm sure there'd be others like the Question and Huntress, but like Jameson would definitely gun for Batman the most. Now here's another question. Would he have a problem with Lex Luthor? Now, a lot of you would say no, would probably say, no, he wouldn't have a problem with Luthor, because back when Norman Osborn was still the Green Goblin, he backed Osborn until he was revealed to be the Green Goblin. He never had a problem with him. Here's the problem. And this is going to be a little controversial, and I'll explain in a minute. I don't think Jameson and Luthor would get along. Why is that when I said he had no problems with Norman Osborn even before he knew he was the Green Goblin? Osborn was very, had a different face, obviously, the two personality thing. But Osborn had this thing of, I'm always open to the press, I'm always a friend to Jameson, I give money to the Bugle, Luthor doesn't do that. Luthor is an enemy of the press. Luthor has said time and time again how much he's despised, the Daily Planet and whatnot. And Jameson has always believes in the true story. So if he sees like there's a story about Luthor, he's gonna run against. He's gonna fight against it. If he sees problems with Luthor, he's not gonna like shove it under the table. He's gonna be like, no, print it. Luthor wants a problem with that, he could come here and I could spit in his face. So that's really what I think a lot of people lose, is that yes, he did have a lot of oh, Norman Osborn, he's a great guy. Oh God, he's the Green Goblin, murdered people. That's the difference, because he thought Osborn was a friend. Luthor right out the gate has a problem with press and the media that he does not control. So honestly, Jameson would be like, fuck that bald-headed bastard. I'm just holding a imaginary stogie here and drinking a scotch. Why aren't you getting me Batman pictures of Batman? So that's what I think, is that he would have Luthor, and he would butt heads with Luthor, and actually I think he would also have a lot of respect for Lois Lane. I think it would be he would also be, in the crossover comics between Superman and Spider-Man, there was clear friendship between him and Perry White. So if he existed in the DC universe, I think him and Perry would be good friends. I also think he would be Olsen, get in here, give me pictures of Batman. Lane, I think, because he would see there's this hard edge to her, kind of like that he had because he was an investigative reporter in his younger years, and I think he would find that pretty interesting with Lois and give her a lot of support. Clark, I think he would be man up, Clark. You're 6 feet tall, and you act like a Boy Scout. Come on, show some balls. Bruce Wayne would be another I think he would. Here's the thing, and cycling back to the Luthor thing, is that I do think if you want to have the Green Goblin thing, is that he would be very cool with Bruce Wayne, just not Batman, not knowing they're the same. But yeah, that's the thing. Bruce has always been a supporter of freedom of speech and the press and whatnot. And he's always open to interviews and whatnot. And I think it would be like a superhero version of the Norman Osborn thing, where Bruce Wayne where Bruce would be like, "Oh, hello, Jameson. I wasn't expecting you today. Can it, Wayne? I'm looking for a new interview about your new Gotham tech." Here, have a scotch. I don't drink. I insist. I like talking like this. I'm sorry for my piss poor J.K. Simmons impression. Yeah. I think he would also have, there would be other superhero, but that's the thing, is that Jameson would have a lot more better opinion of superheroes in the DC universe, because a lot of them are oh yeah, I can give an interview, I can tell you all about me. Why do you wear that mask? Because people could die if I show my secret identity. Oh, I will say that Jameson would not be kind to Hal Jordan. Especially, he would, if you thought Batman did not let the shit go with Parallax, Jameson ain't doing that. Because Jameson would be like, no, you murdered people. You didn't cause what happened in Coast City. That was Mongol and Cyborg Superman, and that's a whole other thing. But, like, you murdered people as Parallax. But I sacrificed myself to reignite the sun. Yeah, that doesn't... You nearly wiped out the multiverse, dude. Which also, that's a thing, and I'm trying to grapple with. Diana would be interesting, because I feel like he would have, like, respect for her, but at the very beginning, it would be like, she doesn't serve the human race. She serves Themyscira. So, where do you think her allegiances lie when the chips are down? I also think he would have a big problem with, Waller. I know some people would say, oh, him and Amanda Waller would be good friends. They don't like superheroes. Yeah, but Waller is very much a suppression of the truth, which Jameson is not. Jameson wants all the truth out. And I think if Waller and the Suicide Squad came up to the Bugle, just trying to scare him, Jameson would just be like taking that cigar and just being like, get out of my office. Yeah. I know it's such a weird thing, but I know, like, Jameson is just cartoonishly angry, and also some would think is a dipshit, but really, he's actually a lot smarter and a lot more complex than I think a lot of people give him credit for. But anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you think it would be like if J. Jonah Jameson was in the DC universe? Which superheroes do you think you'd have a problem with? Which ones you wouldn't have? And what other characters do you think it would be like of him interacting with, and what do you think those interactions would be? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.